What's going on, Cats fans? It's Ben Reeve here from The Hoop Show, and I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Paul James. Welcome back, Paul. It's our second go around tonight. We've just done the recap from the game, and now we're into some player reviews. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, this is why you're only getting me on the show fortnightly these days, because
Right.
two in 1 week is more than enough for you.
You do them all in one hit, mate. And it's
Get all the shit out of your system, and
get
then
it all done straight away. Let's jump into it, mate. So let's start with the fan favourite from this round. It was Patrick Dangerfield. He had 31 touches. Couldn't really fault the bloke, to be honest. I think it was maybe one moment where he got a little bit lost, but other than that, 31 touches, a nice long goal, nearly 600 metres gained. What do you score him out of 10, mate? I reckon I'll give him maybe an 8 out of 10.
yeah, I mean, look, he got the 2 votes from me in the main show itself. So
Yeah.
and it wasn't a totally complete game. An 8's a pretty damn good score.
Okay. Tom Stewart, I thought he was pretty good. Didn't seem to need to do a whole lot, really. I don't want to mark him harshly because he just didn't see a lot of it. I think I'd probably give him a 7.5 out of 10. 23 touches. I think he was okay. Plenty of metres gained, 500 metres gained. So couldn't really ask much more from Tom, really, considering how the game played out.
Yeah, 7 for me as well, because whenever he got near the ball, he was effective. It was just a case of ball didn't spend as much time up there. You're not going to dock them for the fact that the team was so dominant that they didn't. Every time he got near the ball, he did his job and did it well. So
that's right. He just looked bored half the time, I think.
Yeah.
He just looked disinterested.
Well, he'd do what I used to do when I was playing junior footy, because I was in a very dominant junior footy team. We played in 6 grand finals in a row. We won 4 in a row. And when we were playing against some of those mug teams, everyone would have to kind of do a bit of a rotation in the back line, because it's just not... It's not fair if you were stuck in the back line all the time, because the ball would never come up there. But on those muddy days, if you got stuck in the back line, I started carving out noughts and crosses into the dirt and start playing with my boot. Just use my boot to start playing noughts and crosses with another teammate in the back pocket, just to keep us interested.
Whatever it takes. I'm quite happy to give him the 7.5, just because he shut Pavlou out of the game. That prick. Anyway, Max Holmes, another good game from Max Holmes. Didn't quite set the world on fire. I made a big prediction that he was going to announce himself to the AFL this round and get 3 votes. But I think he played pretty well. I'm going to give Max Holmes a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. I think I'll meet you on 7. I won't go as high as the 7.5 like Tom Stewart, like you did for Tom Stewart. But a 7 sits right with me. He just didn't play a full game, I guess. He came through. He was explosive at points. He played an excellent game, and nearly made it in the votes for me personally. But it was because when he featured for, I guess it was probably about 60 to 70% of a game that he was at his very peak, and then there was other points where he was just quiet and unseen for a while. So when he was there, he was effective and he dominated. But when he was absent, I don't know, it just didn't find him.
Bloke that I thought... that brings me to my next one. Jeremy Cameron, he 5 goals straight, couldn't miss. Had 17 touches, didn't lay a tackle.
Doesn't need to.
Doesn't need to lay.
Once the ball goes into his forward 50, it doesn't come back out again.
Yeah, Ferraris don't lay tackles.
And he did get 1 tackle.
I got 1 tackle. There you go. Look, I'll give him a 7.5 as well.
He's got the 9 for me.
He's got the 9. Wow.
Got the 9.
All right. I don't think I'm giving anyone a 9. I just thought it was, anyway. No, I thought he was okay. I'm probably being way too harsh on him, but anyway, come at me if you don't agree, if you're watching this. Cam Guthrie, he's a slow start to the year. Cam got a few possessions with limited game, 24 touches with only 61% game time, something like that. So mostly by hand, so he probably didn't notice a lot of his possessions, as we don't when they're in and under sort of stuff. But Cam's doing all the tough stuff, so a bit like Parfitt copped a bit last week for his disposal efficiency. But it's not an easy gig being that in and under type player and looking good all the time. You look a lot better when you're a Max Holmes on the wing running into space, but sometimes those players are going to do the tough stuff. So Cam Guthrie, I'll give him a. Do I go 7? No, I'll give him a 6.5. 6.5
for him. I think the main thing is the fact that it was 141 metres gain. So he's just, in the clinches, was getting it out there, but I'd love to see him, get foot on the ball a bit more
Yeah.
than what he's been doing so far this season. And I think like maybe he's gotten in his own head because his disposal hasn't been super flash, but like
Yeah.
get your tail up, you're getting your hands on the ball again, so now start disposing it and it'll come.
Yeah, and because most of it was all by hand, it was, it was like let someone else do it. So, 140 metres gain is not a lot. That's okay. Maybe if he's given out to Patrick Dangerfield though, and he's kicking it 70 metres or whatever, that's great.
Yeah.
Jack Bowes, what's his third game now? I think something like that for the club. 19 touches.
Has he missed a game for us yet?
I think he
No,
has.
he was there from the beginning, was he?
Oh, maybe he has. Maybe I've got that wrong. But he's just building
Maybe he
slowly.
missed the first week.
I don't know. I felt like he didn't play. He missed one or two.
I think he missed Collingwood, and then I think he's been there ever since.
Possibly. You might be right on that one. So he had a shot on goal, missed it, unfortunately. He's okay. Couple of tackles, 6 marks. He looks pretty good down back in the sort of halfback flank sort of role. I'd give him a 6, probably.
I'd go 6.5, 7. I'm really happy with how he's travelling at this point. Disposal was great. Fantastic. Is kind of, I guess, the backline equivalent of what your boy Brad Close is. He's played that link man role out of defence really, really well. So incredibly happy with how he's going.
How happy are you with Mark O'Connor at the moment?
I'm not unhappy.
I'm not unhappy. I haven't been a Mark O'Connor hater, but I haven't been a lover either. But I really like what he was doing through the midfield. So I'd give him a 7.5 for his 16 touches, 5 tackles. I thought he did really well.
And he did squash, what's his name from the Swans? Like he played that tagging role on, oh, damn it. What's his name? The gun young mid. Only one that played well for him in the grand final. Why is it not coming to me?
It's Swans.
Chad Warner. He played the tagging role on Chad Warner, and kept Warner to 19, which is way down on his average. So I've got to give him some props for that. I'm still not blown away by what he's been doing. But
you need those role players. You do need those role players. So I'll give him points for that. My boy, Brad Close. I'm giving Brad Close for his only 15 touches, but they were 15 touches of pure gold. I'm giving Brad Close an 8.5 out of 10. I thought he was magnificent.
Just slight edge over danger.
Oh, yeah. Slight edge over danger. Hence the votes. Yep. What about you for Brad?
7. Like it wasn't. He didn't play a bad game. It's just like he did his role and did it really, really well. And that's
okay. Fair enough.
It didn't light it up like, say, the week prior, for example.
I don't agree, and you're wrong, but that's okay. Mark Blitzarves. Now, he's one that I hope you agree with me. He was awesome all around the ground in every role. Everything he did, he was, it just worked. It just worked. 16 touches. He didn't seem to get a lot of it. Just did every single thing. And I get similar to Brad Close, or kind of maybe similar to Danger. I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. I thought he was great.
7.5 for me, but
pretty close.
Yeah, we're in the same ballpark, and for the same reasons.
Yep. What did you think of the Silk, Sam Simpson, in his ruck role? No, not that he came in and kicked a goal early. That was great. Kicked a couple of goals actually, and maybe had a couple more chances too. Kicked 2 goals, 14 touches. Did a fair bit of everything, and had a healthy amount of game time too, which was nice.
Yeah, it was a great return.
Yeah. What are you giving him?
6.5. 6.5.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that one. 6.5. But a really good return game. Really, really happy with him. He should be happy with himself. Gary Rowan, Chucky. I don't know. I'm going to score him a little bit lower on this one. I thought he's just a fraction off in front of the goals and just with his marking, but does a lot of that stuff that the club really appreciates off the ball.
Still some great rundown tackles to his credit.
Rundown tackles, pressure, even when it doesn't result in a tackle. Fantastic. So I'll give him a 6 just for that, because I've talked myself into it. I was going to give him a 5.5, but I'll give him a 6.
I was going to go 4.
Ooh, geez, you're harsh.
And for that marking and the goal kicking. Everything else fantastic, and that's what gets him the 4. And we're not talking 2s and 3s. So I think had it not been for those qualities that he always brings to the game anyway, then it would have been a pretty poor game, I would have thought, from him. But the tackling was still there, the pressure was still great, and he just had an off night. So not too much nothing to make of it, I don't think. But it was a poor game.
I'm sure he's probably wishing he clunked a few of those as well, but he'll go around this weekend's Essendon and kick them all and mark them all and kick
Quickly
5-6
forgotten.
goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Atkins, I loved what he was doing. He fades in and out of the games a little bit, but does all the tough stuff and just his approach to each contest. I'm really loving at the moment. So
when he's needed, he's there.
He's right. Yeah, he's 6 tackles. So he's doing all the tough stuff. I scored him pretty high. I gave him a 7 out of 10. So I was really happy with what he was doing. Jake Kolodashny, don't come near me. I like to bounce the ball these days. I thought he was very, very confident and looked. And normally when I watch Jake, I get very nervous when he's about to kick the ball. But I loved what he was doing.
He was excellent.
I'm going to go as high as a 7.5 for Jake. I thought he was great on the week.
Yeah, I'd be in the 7.5 ballpark as well, and probably edging towards the 7.5 because there was a few great running efforts, not just the bounce that we talk about, but a few great running efforts there as well. Wasn't missing his targets.
No,
covered 367 meters. Like it's a good game.
Do you know what we need? He's got the bounce. He's kicked a goal 2 now. We just need him to sell the candy. That's what we need next from Jake Kolodashny. But he'll get there. We'll get there. Give him time. He'll get there. Tom Hawkins, 5 goals straight. Didn't get a stack of it. 8 touches. Didn't lay a tackle. The big man. But as always,
also wasn't able to be tackled either.
Couldn't tackle the bloke.
Couldn't get tackled.
I don't know if it was a moment where I don't know if he played on or the umpire said it wasn't a mark, but he took a mark. Or looked like he took a mark, and the umpire blew his whistle and said you're off. Yeah,
I was bemused by that.
So that's probably the only blemish, I suppose. And I did look like Tommy was trying to be too unselfish and giving it off to a teammate when he was 30 metres out. But I'd give Tommy a 7.5. Maybe that's a bit too harsh. I expect you expect good things from Tommy. Zach Guthrie, the Hulk himself, big baby Guthrie. I don't know. A lot of people liked his game. I thought he was a little bit scratchy at times, and then at other times he was just a bull, and he was he was great, but just a bit of inconsistency throughout the game itself. I'd give him a 7 out of 10 for him.
Yeah, I probably agree. So I guess the thing that was kind of missing for him is he wasn't getting on the end of, and again, it was a byproduct of the fact that we were dominating Sydney, but he wasn't getting on the end of them and then being able to run 10, 15 and then deliver 40. So again, that meters gained figure for him is quite low compared to other games. So, and for someone who plays that particular position, that's what I'd like to see more of for him. And kind of shows maybe that difference between Tom Stewart, who covered 505 meters, versus Zach Guthrie, who was 132.
Sure.
And so I'd like to, it was just, it's a bit of luck of the draw because him and Tom play very, very similar roles now. And one's going to win out, one's going to lose out, and it just depends on matchups and those sorts of things as well.
That's it.
But he still played a great game. Every time it went near him, he was effective.
Yeah. A bloke that's normally been in our best players, first 5 rounds of the year, he seems to always be up there. Isaac Smith, he had a pretty good game. Just didn't set the world on fire like he's been doing lately.
In the grand final.
No, but he's had a fantastic start to this season. But I wouldn't say he was a passenger, but he wasn't. He clearly wasn't in our best players this time around.
Just a solid 6.
Yeah, probably 6. I think with him, 19 touches. Happy with that. A bloke that we've interviewed on our show, or you've interviewed on the show, who was a fantastic guest, Gryan Miers. And I think after that interview, we both probably went away from that having a greater appreciation of what he does and what he brings to the side and how much of a team man that he is. And you just saw that on full display on the weekend. I loved everything that Gryan did. I found it really hard not to put him in my votes, but I'm giving Gryan a solid 7.5 out of 10. I thought he was fantastic.
Same score for me. Excellent game from him. And I mean, I think unless something's changed over the course of this weekend, still leading the AFL for goal assists.
Should be.
It's been a sensational start to the year for him. So
great.
Let's hope that continues.
Don't know if it's good enough for all Australian, but
no.
if he keeps tracking the way he's going, who knows?
Realistically, he needs to hit the scoreboard more for that.
Yeah, there's a bloke, Stevie J didn't even play the first 6 games one year and ended up being an all Australian. So if Gryan keeps going the way he is, he's got to hit the scoreboard. He hasn't kept goal yet, so we need maybe 20 goals from him. If he kicks 20 goals from here on in, maybe he'll be in that conversation. He's playing very well. Sam De Koning, I sort of touched on the other show that he seemed to be all over the place. Not through his own choice, but just because he was in the ruck half the time and then down back. So they didn't really settle him much. They just used him as a bit of a utility through the whole game.
I think he enjoyed just getting around, though.
I think he did, didn't he? He kind of likes getting around a bit and getting involved in the play. So he's not against it at all.
He was hoping he could kick another goal against the Swans.
Yeah, he took a nice mark there and a nice 50-metre kick, setting up Jeremy Cameron for another shot at goal. So look, I'd give DK maybe a 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, same score for me.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with his performance.
Nothing.
Just the nature of the game and what was required of him.
That's right. Ollie Henry, he's been a little bit hit and miss through his first few games with the club, but he had some really good moments on the weekend. I think he kicked 2 goals from limited touches, and took a couple of nice marks. Can't really fault the guy too much. I'd probably give him a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't put him in that hit or miss category whatsoever. I've been really, really happy with how Ollie started the season.
Okay. Probably just
averaging about 2 goals a game and
a couple of easy shots on goal is probably why I'm judging him harshly. He's missed a couple of easy ones, and that's probably sticks with me a little bit.
He's missed a soda along the way,
but
it happens, I guess, from time to time. And
and
obviously, like everyone's gonna, when we look back at Ollie Henry's year at the end of the year, regardless of where we ultimately finish up, that highlight or that low light from Geelong and Collingwood's going to come up where he got run down, obviously by Darcy Moore. That's going to pop up, and that's going to stay at the forefront of minds for a little while. But no, I think he's had an excellent season so far. So this one was probably one of the weaker games of the year so far, but still kicked 2 goals and was a constant presence. Like he burst through a few contests, split the contest, and ensured that we maintained possession. So 6.5 to 7 for me.
Yeah, if you can bob up for a couple of goals every week, that'll be great. You're doing your job, even if it's a goal and a half every week. That's great. So happy with him, and he gets around that. He does cover a bit of ground too, so that's always nice.
Yeah,
Sava Radigalia, he's looking more and more confident every week. I don't know if this was his best game. He was fantastic in the first half against West Coast the week before. He just looks like he's starting to feel like he belongs in this team. I had the way he's just moving, and he doesn't look like a deer in the headlights anymore. He just looks like he belongs.
And he can play to his strengths because he can just jump at it.
He's exactly right. He's not trying to mark everything now. He's actually throwing the fist at the ball a lot more. I think he's starting to understand the mentality of a backman a bit more. So, but occasionally, if it's there to mark it. So it's just knowing when to hit and when to punch and when to mark. And I think that'll just come the more. He's only 6 games into this new role, really. So we give him a little bit of time. So I'm going to give him maybe a 6 out of 10.
For me, just a 5, but that's only because he really didn't have that much to do on the night. But he completely halted all of their tall forwards. They remained goalless, I think. Logan McDonald didn't kick any. Aaron Francis didn't kick any. So he did his role and did it well, but he just didn't have that much to do. I will be interested to see what happens with the Sava when Jack Henry starts getting close. Like, does that confidence start to wane a little bit? Because then he's going to feel like that pressure's there to hold on to his spot. Right now, there is no pressure to hold on to his spot. That'll be an interesting one, but that's 3-4 weeks away.
It is, and Chris Scott has gone on record at the presser last night saying
Scotty loves him.
Yeah, they'll play them both. He said it very black and white. They'll play both of them. What role they're in, who knows? I'd imagine they'd probably keep Sava as settled as possible because he's not as much of a swing man as Jack Henry is, but we'll see. Mitch Duncan, an unusually quiet game for him, but you can't have everyone kick an ass, can you? So 16 touches for him. Showed a bit of lip, which I liked. Maybe
and the efficiency, disposal efficiency was still great. So
that's all good. So I'll give him a 5 out of 10. Just a bit of a quieter game for Mitch. That's not a shot at him at all. It's just, again, just not in the action as much as the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, 93.8% disposal efficiency. Just
can't really knock him too much. What would you give him, considering that maybe?
He didn't have it as much, but basically every single time he nailed it. So he'd still get a 6.5 minimum for me.
Fair enough. A couple more. Zach Tui kicked a nice goal. Very, very nice goal. Other than that, didn't get a hell of a lot. But again, similar to a few other players, he was on a wing affair. He's on the wing half the time these days, but just didn't seem to get into it a hell of a lot. Laid a few tackles, which is always nice when you're not getting involved. So I'd give him maybe for the goal 6.5. No, that's too much. Bring it back to 6.
6. Yeah,
Yeah,
six I'd agree with.
Yeah.
And then there's poor old Mitch Nevitt, who obviously came on as a sub, didn't get a hell of a lot of game time.
Yes.
And as much as like you could see some of the boys were trying to get him into it, Gryan in particular tried to get him into the game a few times.
Yes.
Gryan sold him into the shit a couple of times, trying to get the ball to him, and just kind of found himself continually getting wrapped up. So I don't know. Like, are we being harsh giving him a 2? It's not his fault.
That's not a reflection of how we think he went. It's just his impact on the game. I think that's fair.
He got 15% time on ground. Like,
yeah, I think 2. I think 2 is reasonable. I think just the last thing I want to say about him, he's got the most possessions to cheers ratio. That was fantastic.
Oh,
it was,
yeah.
Every time he went near, he came on. I saw him come off the bench, and the crowd went nuts. And then every time he went near it, the crowd went. It was party mode in Geelong on Saturday night, but yeah, it was fantastic. He was getting cheered every single time he went near the footy. It was fantastic, and his teammates were getting into him.
Yeah,
Paul,
I mean,
I think you did a good job.
Part of the future. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I think our votes were pretty similar. There's a couple slightly off, but overall, I think we're pretty much on that one. There might be some differences around the Dangerfield and the Brad Close and the Jeremy Cameron side of things, but hopefully anyway, I'm keen to hear what other people have got to say as well. So if you want to comment down below, let us know what you think. Tell us who's wrong, who's right, who's more on the ball with this sort of voting stuff. Is it Paul or me? Let me know what you think, and I'll go away. If I'm wrong, I'll go away and have a think about it. A long, hard think. And if Paul's wrong, I'm sure he'll do the same. Thank you for watching, Paul. Thank you very much. We'll do it again soon, hey?
Yeah. I think it's good fun. I mean, for me, I'm a maths teacher, so numbers are my shtick. And
we should have done an A+ or B+ kind of system.
Oh, no,
or maybe a pass, fail, credit, whatever it is.
No, none of that sort of rubbish. Give me a percentage. Here you go. Here you go, champ. You got 82%. Get out.
There you go. Percentages.
So I'm happy to slap a number on something that works for me.
Very good. All right, everyone. Take care. Go Cats, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
See you guys.